Hi, everybody. You know, in unity, transformation happens, and we accept responsibility for creating our lives consciously because we know that our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our actions, our attitudes are prayers through which we create our own world, our own lives, either consciously or unconsciously. So I have to ask you, would you like to transform your life by creating your life more consciously?
Yes.
All right, then you're in the right place. Because today you will learn or deepen your understanding of a spiritual practice that allows transformation to happen, not to you, but for you, consciously. So the human condition is that usually we go around our life listening from our head, from our ego. But the spiritual solution I want to offer you today is to listen from the heart. And I want to make sure that, okay, it looks like it's working on on the monitor. So a Unity minister colleague, Reverend Ron Jones, said, to be in our heart is to allow ourselves to be influenced by spirit. To be in our head is to block ourselves from the influence of spirit. So when we're in our heart, we are allowing spirit to influence everything we think, say, and do. When we're in our head, we're being influenced by the world, not by spirit. So what's in it for you to shift from being in your head to being in your heart? Well, it offers you a way of consciously connecting with your divine nature, your God self, your Christ self, your Buddha nature. It allows you to transform your stinking thinking to loving, kind, generous, compassionate thinking. Also, it allows you to confidently know what to do and how to do it effectively, efficiently, lovingly, kindly. And it gives you an opportunity to experience more love in your life by living from the wisdom of your heart. Now, some people are new to the term heart math. It's one word with a capital H and a capital M, heart math. And it was the founder, Doc Childress' goal to research and develop a simple step-by-step system of scientifically validated tools that anyone could use to help them listen and follow their hearts as a source of intelligence and wisdom. So the combination of the two words, heart and math, reflect those two essential parts of the work. So the heart is talking about the physical heart. And that heart, each one of our hearts contains neurotransmitters that gives us access to rejuvenating human emotions, including wisdom, love, compassion, courage, and strength. The math, in the context of heart math, refers to the techniques of systematically accessing the wisdom of the heart and developing the heart's intelligence. So the difference between using the heart intelligence to guide the intellect and using the head's intelligence alone, dissociated from the heart, is the difference between doing something under divine guidance and doing something under ego guidance. And when we're from our ego, we're focusing on our self-will, our human ideas, our human power alone. So I believe that you and I are responsible for what I call our second thought and our first action. In other words, that first thought that happens to us, it just happens. And it may not be the wisest thought. It's coming from all of race consciousness. But our second thought, we can drop down into our heart, and it will be a divinely inspired thought. And the tools of heart math teach us how to do it. They give us a process for doing it. And the fact is that our brain works better when it is engaged with the heart. The heart energy, the neurotransmitters in the heart actually enhance our intellectual capacity. And the brain then assists us in moving beyond our limiting emotional patterns to see a situation differently. So we engage our heart by attuning to our divine nature, by putting ourselves in a frequency of love. And to the extent that we put ourselves in a frequency of love, we are taken care of. Not because God loves us, but because we are attuning ourselves to the love God is, the love we are made in the image and likeness of. So the heart is like a sophisticated security system, and it will not open unless we are in the frequency of love. We have to be feeling love, kindness, generosity, compassion, or other rejuvenating feeling, positive, divine feeling, in order to open the heart. Now, before I learned heart math techniques, I just didn't know when people would say, well, you just need to come from the heart. And I was like, how do you do that? You know, what does that mean? But when I learned the heart math techniques, I now know how to go take steps to receive specific guidance from the heart in terms of what to do, how to do it, when to do it. And I'm able to transform any stinking thinking into loving, kind, generous, compassionate thinking. So I learned about heart math from a Unity minister who was then working for the Heart Math Institute. His name is Reverend David MacArthur. And I said to him, so what's so unique about the intelligence of the heart? Our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, knew and taught that intelligence is in every cell and atom of the body, every organ of the body. And Reverend David said, I'm glad you asked. And he pointed out that he found when he was in an active ministry, in a Unity center, that there were some people who would get well when they used Myrtle Fillmore's healing technique, and then there were ones who didn't. And he found the difference was if somebody believes, I am a child of God and I do not inherit disease, which our co-founder Myrtle Fillmore embraced, if you're just making that affirmation from your intellect alone, it doesn't have power to heal. But when we can make that affirmation from the intelligence of the heart, then it permeates every cell and atom of our body. So there's a lot of different heart math techniques. There's something called freeze frame that we will experience a little bit in today's service, but more on Wednesday. And it allows us, both freeze frame and all these techniques allow us to actually access the wisdom of the heart. And these techniques give us what the MacArthurs, David and his father Bruce wrote a book called The Intelligence of the Heart, and they call it an access code, that we have an access code to the full utilization of the laws of transformation when we awaken our hearts through those feelings of love, forgiveness, care, appreciation, understanding, courage, any rejuvenating feeling. And then through these techniques, our lives are transformed because we can use the intelligence of the heart to respond to life more efficiently, more effectively. So I want to give you just a sample of this, and we'll take more time and do this and be able to interactively discuss it during Wednesday's class if you're here on Zoom or in person. So what I want you to invite you to do right now is just bring to mind a stressful situation in your life. Don't pick the most stressful thing that's ever happened to you. Maybe something happened this morning, the coffee maker didn't work, or, traffic, something. So just bring to mind real briefly a stressful situation in your life. And now I want you to be aware of your thoughts and feelings about that situation. What are you thinking? What are you feeling about that stressful situation? If you've got a pencil and paper, you might even jot them down. And if I asked you to characterize, and you don't have to say this out loud, but just in your own mind, would you characterize the nature of these thoughts and feelings as positive or negative? And just remember which way it was for now. Now I want you to recognize the stressful feeling that's accompanying those thoughts, and I want you to imagine you have a remote control and you're hitting pause. In heart math, it's called freeze frame. So just take a time out, it's like a pause button on a remote control, and stop thinking. And now make a sincere effort to shift your focus away from this racing mind or disturbed emotions and focus instead on the area around your physical heart. If it helps, you can bring your hand to touch that area of your heart, your fingertips. And to keep your energy focused on your heart, bring your breath to your heart. And just imagine that you are breathing through your heart for 3 or 4 breaths at your own pace. Feeling, a time that you've had in life, a beautiful sunset, the first time you saw your child or a new puppy, or a time of gratitude. Just recall that positive feeling and make a sincere effort to re-experience that feeling of whatever it was, joy, appreciation, love, gratitude. And just feel that again as you continue to breathe as if you're breathing in and out through the heart. And now, using your intuition, your common sense, and sincerity, ask the wisdom of your heart. What would be a more efficient response to this stressful situation? One that will minimize future stress. Ask the wisdom of your heart, not your head. Stay focused on the heart. Listen to the wisdom of your heart. What is your heart saying? And how would you characterize the nature of what your heart is saying? Is it positive or negative? Is there a difference between what you heard from your head and what you heard from your heart? So if you're comfortable doing so, would you just, maybe raise your virtual hand or your real hand and say, did you see a difference? Did you experience a difference from your head and from your heart? Yes, several of you, yes, great, okay. So that's the difference between listening from the heart and listening from the head. So the MacArthurs say in their book that the heart is where the spiritual intelligence of the higher dimensions enter the human system. And any time that we can tap into rejuvenating feelings such as love, gratitude, joy, a transformation literally occurs biologically and in our electromagnetic system. And that activates the heart's intelligence. And this intuitive intelligence is capable of interacting with and utilizing data which is only available through the five senses. You know, last week we talked about the five senses. They're right here, right now. And so it gives us an ability to deal with a situation from a different level of intelligence, not just from the ego, but from our divine nature. So when you and I are centered in our hearts, all of the laws of cause and effect are operating to bring us love and wisdom in every area of our lives. So I want to show you a couple of PowerPoints. I'm spoiled. I'm used to having a tech person help me with this. Okay, so let me move the photos over. So this is research from the HeartMath Institute, and it shows heart rate variability if we're stressed out or frustrated. And I don't know about you, but this top one looks like static on a radio to me. And then it shows what happens when we tap into the heart, just by dropping into the heart, breathing as if we're breathing through the heart, while creating a regenerative feeling. So I think it's pretty clear where we would make a better decision from, right? We would certainly, when we're in that smooth feeling of appreciation. In this case, it was frustration and appreciation, but you could say stress and, centeredness. So that's why we want to deal with people, deal with situations from the heart instead of the head. Now, this shows entrainment, and it shows the difference between, let's see if I can get rid of this little box here. Yeah, there we go. So this is where they measured respiration, heart rate variability, and pulse transit time. So again, on the left, that's when people were dealing with stress. And then on the right is where people were dealing with from the heart. So you can see how it's much more even than when we're dealing from the head. And finally, there's an electrical field of the heart, and it goes out way beyond the body. So I don't know if some of you might be old enough to remember back in the 60s, we talk about getting bad vibes from people or good vibes. Well, that's literally true. They've been able to measure it scientifically, that whatever we are feeling radiates out beyond our body and affects everyone around us, and in fact affects all creation, because we are one. Okay, so that's the heart rate variability. Now let me pull my screen back up. So that's why we want to come from our heart instead of from our head, so that we are more centered, we're coming from a regenerative feeling rather than a stressful feeling. So the law of love does not operate on thoughts of love. It only operates on feelings of love. So we have thoughts of love up here, but we spread out that feeling of love in that energy field of the heart. And so they're stimulated by spiritual energy, by thinking positive thoughts that generate positive feelings, okay? And negativity shuts down the sensitivity of the heart. So we want to really learn how to just simply stop thinking in an outer way with our head, drop our attention to our heart, if necessary, place your hand on your heart, and begin breathing in and out as if we're breathing through the heart, and then generate a positive, inspiring feelings through thoughts of gratitude, a positive affirmation, a visual image of someone you love, whatever it takes to generate a positive feeling. So why let the law of love bless your life? Why bother, right? Well, we do it to enhance our own lives and the lives of everyone around us. We do it to make a difference, a positive difference in the world. And then we get to the big how-to. How do we put feet on today's message? Well, the first way I always say is prayer and meditation. So when we focus on the heart, we are really turning within to that one presence, that one power. We're attuning ourselves to our divine nature, by whatever name we call it, knowing that we have access through the heart to all knowledge, all wisdom, all guidance, all abundance. And then we have to put feet on that prayer time and take it out with us in the world. I call it where the rubber meets the road. So that whenever we have a decision to make, we don't make it from the head, we make it from the heart. Whenever we have a response, and I wish I could say I do this 100% of the time. I fall short often, but I can't let that keep me from trying again, okay? And so that's what I invite you all to do. And if you want to learn more details about this, I invite you to show up on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So from 5 to 6:30, either in this room or on Zoom, I will teach you more specific so that we can interact and you can actually ask questions and you can share and report, if you're comfortable doing so, what you're experiencing. And so I'll teach you the freeze frame technique, how to just quickly go into coherence, how to do deep heart listening, or how to actually make your spiritual formal practice focused on the heart. So I celebrate that as a result of today's message, each one of you have a transformative spiritual tool to listen and respond from your heart, and that each one of us has the wisdom to use those tools. And so let's begin designing that life right now in a shared time of prayer and meditation. So just take a moment to straighten up towards Father Sky, settle in to Mother Earth, relax the shoulders and the jaw as we settle in to practice a heart locking technique. Now take a moment to zoom into your heart. Concentrate on the area of the physical heart, and if it helps, place your fingertips in that area. And as you continue focusing on this area of the heart, bring your breath to that area. And breathe as if you're breathing in and out through your heart at your own pace. And as you do so, you may notice your breath slowing down and deepening. And now create a rejuvenating positive feeling, such as gratitude, care, compassion, love, joy, by recalling something positive in your life now or in the past. And if nothing else works, just bring a smile to your face. Smiling creates a positive feeling. We're going to take this feeling, that radiating that feeling, into the silence in a moment. And while you're in the silence, if you catch your mind wandering or otherwise distracted, simply focus your attention on the heart again and reconnect with that generative feeling through smiling or recalling something that brings you joy. And let's radiate this renewing, healing feeling to every cell and atom of our individual bodies, hearts, souls, and minds, and out into all creation in the silence. And as we gently bring our attention back to this time and place, silently say, thank you, divine nature, I am. for the wisdom to live my life from the wisdom of the heart, thereby bringing forth the indwelling love I am as you, to transform my daily life and do my part to heal all creation. Thank you, divine nature I am. Thank you, thank you, thank you, that it is so, and so it is. Amen. So now we have an opportunity to have some announcements. So the first announcement is that if you saw the e-bulletin, we are now requiring a mask in the sanctuary unless we're at least 6 feet away from people. So I'm 6 feet away, so I don't have my mask on as I'm speaking. But when we have fellowship afterwards, we'll be putting my mask on. The second announcement is that we want to remind you that we have a noon meditation Monday through Saturday. It's only about 15 minutes. Dr. Maya will be leading it on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and I will be leading it on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And certainly if you ever want to have a chat about it or anything afterwards, we can stay on to do that. The third announcement I want to make is my class on Wednesday from 5 to 6:30. And this coming Wednesday, we're going to take a deeper dive into the wisdom of the heart. I'm going to give you a heart math worksheet, and you're going to be able to actually make some notes and have the steps in front of you so that you don't forget them, and you'll have them to use for the rest of your life. And I can tell you that personally, learning heart math techniques was one of the most transformative tools that I've learned in my 29 years of ministry. So I really have a lot of passion for this technique. I know how powerful it can be. And now I would like to invite you to take your offering in your heart or in your hand. And that means in the sanctuary too. We're not going to pass the plate during this time of the pandemic and recurrence of COVID, but just take your love offering, your financial gift to this ministry in your heart and hands, and repeat silently after me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all I am, all I have, all I joyously give, and all I joyously receive. Now feel that joy, feel that gratitude, allow that joy and gratitude to permeate every cell and atom of your body and transform it into feelings of generosity. And then radiate from your heart those feelings of joy, gratitude, and generosity beyond yourself to all creation. Knowing that your gifts to Unity Center of Montreal are planting the seeds and helping keep this garden growing so that this message of unity goes out beyond these walls, beyond this Zoom room, to bless all creation. And I give thanks that that is true. And so it is. And for those in the sanctuary, we invite you as you leave the sanctuary to give your gift in the back of the room. There's a couple of offering plates, and that way, again, we're not passing a plate, we're making it an opportunity for you not for us to take an offering, but for you to generously give your offering. So now I invite you, we don't have a songwriter here to lead us in the peace song, so I invite us to pray together our prayer for protection. And if you're on Zoom, please mute so that we don't have that restriction. So again, for those of you who don't know it, I'll say it one sentence at a time. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Namaste.
Namaste.
And I realize I do not have my speaker on.
So let me ask you, were you able to hear my message on Zoom land?
On Zoom land?
If you could mute yours. Yeah, it's very complicated when we have two people trying to run Zoom. Can you mute yourself, please, Maya? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trusting that you all could hear me. Is that true? Okay, good. All right.
All right, we're going to move now into our prayer service in French.
If
Yes,
you could mute
I know.
your other thing too.
Anyway, I will do that.
Here, I'll
And
mute this one.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to make Rosemary co-host. Can you see that? Very good. So, as you know, we have Anna Marie with us, and we have Sandra with us. And Sandra has agreed to read La Pensée du Jour for us. So please stay on. This is our commitment to having a short prayer service in French.
So we don't speak French.
We don't hear anything right now. Sandra, can you unmute yourself? Do you hear? Is it okay now? Okay, very good.
Alors, j'ai toujours l'honneur de lire ce texte par Anne-Marie Koch, ancienne présidente de Unity Schweiz et directrice. Elle souhaite à vous tous un dimanche splendide.